Story up a little bit later, but next up on track, it's Junior SM90 and Mini GP 110 for the second and final time today. Junior SM90 and Mini GP 110 race 2 out on circuit. Our drone is flying proper time now as they give us fantastic pictures over the circuit here at Tattershall. Former military airbase, of course, and now proper racetrack. This is what we love about this particular place. And what a venue to finish off the 2019 British Mini Bikes Championship season. Junior SM90 and Mini GP 110 will finish their season in style. And boy, oh boy, is this going to be a fantastic end to the year. The champion's already declared, as we know, of course, with Brook Champion already declared as the MGP 110 title winner. And it looks as though our champion in the latter class, Dan Stevenson, is missing from this race. He decided he's not going to do this last race of the year. Fair enough, I suppose.
Shame, you know.
It is a shame. It would have been nice to have seen him, but when you've won the title, the one thing you don't want is to go into the winter with an injury, and obviously there is a heightened risk of doing that. So when you win the title, that is all fair to the good. The flags are up, green flag in the air. Are we going to go racing straight away? Yes, we do, and it's an absolute flyer from the front of the green, but the second row barely moves at all. So it's going to be a big shake-up to the race as they charge through the first corner, and as the second row of the grid barely moves at all. In fact, fourth place on the grid doesn't move at all. That is a big disaster, so we've already lost one of the major game players, and things will shake up as a result of that. But so far, it looks to me as though we've still got Joe Mostica up towards the sharp end of the field, as we saw from earlier on, but Zach Weston, the 35, obviously the man to beat in this class.
Brook Champion at the back of the grid almost collected the stalled rider on the grid. It was super close to see her avoid. You just saw her at the top end of your screen, but massive commitment to her. Absolutely flew through that one, managed to avoid a collision.
It is Weston from Grieg at the moment, so Weston still leads the race, and it looks as though the rider that stalled, unfortunately, has now been unable to get going again, so their race is already run, and we've got a yellow flag rider down in the second section of the course, and that is the 51 that's down. So a bit of a problem there already to start things off, and that is the 51 that's gone down. Can't quite see who that is. Obviously that could end up being a stoppage. For the moment it's not, though. Rider is up and bike is moved away, so that is good news. So obviously the 51 now out of contest and will not come through at the end of procedure, so we'll have to try and figure out who the 51 is from the qualifying session earlier on, of course. Or, of course, from the earlier race. Oh, it's Fabian Sands. Fabian Sands, who had his issues earlier on, of course, but it looks like he's not quite going to get to the finish of the last race of the season. But there is your man out front, riding beautifully. Zach Weston doing an absolutely superb job out at the front end of the field. And so far, so good for him. He really has taken to this class and this circuit like a duck to water. We're going to have a replay now of the start. This is where we had, look, the third and fourth place riders just barely move at all. The third place didn't move. How did Brook Champion miss him?
I've no idea. It was, you could see it out of nowhere. It's the most horrible feeling. You know, you're starting a race, you want to go, 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 and then it's just, oh no, someone stopped, and you've got to quickly dive it out of the way. It's one of the most difficult things to do at the start of a race, and yeah, as you can see, Brook Champion delivered that perfectly. Back live now. 10 laps to go, and there's your race leader, Zach Weston, on that 35 machine, and it's a good-looking bike as well. Matching leathers as well. It's a good combination, I think. But these guys still flying through. 5 seconds clear already from Joel Grieg. Joe Mozzie Mostic, he's moved up into third place as well. That's dropping Ruby Booth down into fourth place on the 86 machine as well. Daniel Stevenson, he's doing well. He's up 2 positions as well. He's up into 12th place now. Managed to get past Brook Champion and Charlie Ward.
So that was a big clanger from Jake Sanson. He is there on the grid, the current champion. He is there. So trying to battle his way through, of course. And it'll be a very interesting battle as he continues to try and charge his way forward. Weston from Grieg, Mostica, George Bartle now in a fourth position past Ruby Booth. Look at this battle. We're really starting to tighten up now in the mid-section of the course. Back onto the main straight. And so far, so good as the competitors continue to charge forward. This is the 998 of Ollie Pearson, hoping he's not going to have the same mechanical problems he had in the previous race. Luca Wilkinson, Charlie Pearson and Billy Carter all in the mix there as well as they run for 6th down to 9th. Lots of support for these guys back home. And they are charging hard here at Tattershall the last time this season, getting ready, of course, for a strong campaign in 2020. But this is a great run. Pearson from Wilkinson, Charlie Pearson and Billy Carter, and they are all still absolutely glued to each other as they run around the circuit.
Mike was muted. There we go. It's a good start for that one. So, yeah, good start from these guys. Of course, 8 laps to go. All jostling for position there. All doing an excellent job. Now, fastest person on the circuit is Joe Mostica. He's crossed the line now. He went 2 seconds slower in that last lap alone. He is right behind, though, Joel Grieg. They are having a very, very close battle out there. Now, as they go through, it is, of course, the 3 that we wanted to keep an eye on as they're going through the final corner now onto the start-finish straight. And there's a good little scrap. There's the 998, of course. Ollie Pearson there leading this little pack of 3. It's Luca Wilson behind and Charlie Pearson. So the 2 Pearsons. It's the Pearson-Wilkinson sandwich as they go through. And still jostling very closely for position as they exit turn number 2 into turn 3, past the pit lane exit. And again, looked like Ollie Pearson there, or sorry, Charlie Pearson tried to go for a move down the inside of Luca Wilkinson. Couldn't quite get it done through turn 3, and it's a very difficult corner, turn 3. It's super fast. It's one racing line, really. You can't really go side by side.
Looked to me like he made it. I think Luca Wilkinson actually went a little bit. I think he went a little bit too wide through the left-hander, lost the ground. And then round the outside, Charlie Pearson thought, right, well, you've obviously overshot, so I'm just going to take and sweep past you around the outside. Meanwhile, now is that for the lead? Is that Jack Weston dealing with Joel Grieg? No, there is Joel Grieg. So he's battling away with Mozzie Mostica.
Yep, so this is the battle for second place. This is hottening up, and it's Mostica around the outside. Is he going to go all the way around the outside? He's going to take the long way round. He is. And now he's on the inside into turn number 4, and that is how you do it.
The apple does not fall far from the tree, does it? That's worthy of James. Absolutely sensational from Joe Mozzie Mostica. That is one heck of a move around the outside of the second hairpin on the course. My goodness, he had his Weetabix this morning, didn't he? That was a belter of an overtaking move around the outside. I'd love to see that one again, because that is such a hard overtaking move to pull off. And especially when you're at the beginning of your career and you're still trying to get up to speed in greasy conditions still, because it's not warm out there at all. I would love to see that overtake one more time, and I think we're going to be able to. So Mostica battling away with Grieg, and he realised, here we go, so he realises Grieg has got the inside line. There's no way he's going to give him any space, so Mostica just goes, right, you're going to hold up the inside line, you're going to be careful, you're going to tiptoe, so I'm just going to flick the throttle. Beautiful, round the outside. That is a textbook overtake.
Yeah, good stuff there from Mostica. So excellent stuff, putting him up into P2, of course. And next on his list will be, of course, Zach Weston. Now the gap, of course, is 8 seconds at the moment, but he is lapping a little bit faster. But not that much, I would say. You know, he's only about 4/10 faster that lap alone, as we've got some great drone shots here. And say, Zach Weston's actually just responded, 54.28. He's just put in the new fastest lap of the race from the lead. And Joe Mozzie Mostica can't respond. His last lap alone was almost 2 seconds slower. That gap's nearly 10 seconds now for the lead. So there's no way he's going to close that gap within 5 seconds. Of course, anything could happen, though. It is motorsport, and we can't question that as we look at these still great drone shots into this final section of the circuit, this little battle of 4 bikes at the moment as they go through. It's quite hard to tell who it is from this shot, but it's, they're having a good scrap.
These are the Pearsons. It's Pearsons battling away, and here comes, is that Luca Wilkinson back into position again now? I think it is now, so they're still dueling away for position. There is Mostica, having got himself into second place. He now has a bit of a gap over Grieg. So obviously it's going to be a very tough battle as they continue to charge forward. But Mostica running well in second position in front of Grieg, then Bartle, Booth, Pearson, Wilkinson and Charlie Pearson, then Billy Carter, and Dan Stevenson is in 10th place now. So doesn't need to win the race to be victorious in the title fight. And there's a couple of overtaking moves there. Now that is going to be a couple of changes for position lower down the order. That's Jack Newton getting past Kieran Nelson, who is still in front of Brooke Champion in the 110 battle. But obviously Nelson versus Champion battling away there. Zach Weston is one of the drivers who's only been here for a couple of rounds, so obviously Brooke Champion's still set to take the title. A few laps to go, and obviously it is going to be very, very tight from this point onwards as the riders are getting into the closing stages of the season.
Definitely so, and of course as that sun gets ever lower, it's going to make it much difficult to see where you're going, especially going into the west side of the circuit. As they get to that side, the sun's in their eyes, and some of these riders are actually running clear visors, which is definitely going to be really difficult. There is the 217, and that is Hudson Cooper in 11th place at the moment. He's got a very dark visor on, so he's set for this moment. He's happy out there. Here's the 21, that's George Bartle in 4th place, and the 86 crossing the line, Ruby Booth. So that's 4th and 5th place at the moment. Here comes Brooke Champion and the 16. They're having a good little scrap there as well. The 46 of Brooke Champion. I think it was actually Kyron Nelson, the 15.
Once again, those two are scrapping.
Yeah.
They're going to keep this all the way down to the line, these two. They're going to have an absolute fantastic route between those two again, as Brooke Champion is about to be confirmed as the Mini GP 110 champion of Britain. Here, though, is going to be a really exciting run for Weston. 2 laps to go, and he's absolutely charging away. No major disasters, no problems, really, for Zach Weston as he continues his seamless ride around the circuit here at Tattershall. He really has nailed this weekend, and he's got the best setup, the best riding stance, and his confidence is sky high.
Yep. Definitely so, as he goes into hairpin number 2. Turn 4 out there. Again, that tight entry, but really sweeping exit that he's got. Then you come back into this infield section. Here he comes. He's just catching up to a couple of back markers that we've got here. Can't quite see who those back markers are, but I'm sure they'll get out the way fairly quickly. But as he goes round, he's on the penultimate lap, I should just say. And there's the 85. Who is that? That's Billy Carter. So that's Billy Carter that he's got for some company. Billy gets out the way, which is excellent to see. And then across the line, it's last lap time now for your race leader, Zach Weston. He is currently leading the way quite nicely, 13 seconds he's got from Joe Mossticker. So Mossticker, of course, on one of the SM90s, different class to Zach Weston. Of course, Zach Weston on the Mini GP 110s. But he's going through nice and clear at the moment, but again, a bit more traffic in front.
He's going to lap Charlie Pearson this time by the 100, and having a really strong end to the season. Charlie Pearson having got past Luca Wilkinson, so Zach Weston's got to time this right. He's got a gap. He doesn't need to panic at this point. Just let them do their thing and just bring the bike home. He's got himself plenty of space over Mossticker and Grieg. So this is going to be a nice end to the season for Zach Weston. A really strong performance over the course of this weekend. He was the fastest in time qualifying. He's really just nailed every single apex, every single lap. Has been pretty exemplary as he comes through and out of the final turn. And the last race of the season is taken by Zach Weston. He charges to the line, and a victory for Zach Weston in both of the races today. Fantastic performance. But in the battle for second place behind, it is going to be Joe Mossticker, who comes through in second place and takes the victory in the JSM90, of course. What a race from Mossticker. And I have to say, that is one of the best rides I've seen from him. Brilliant stuff, and obviously James is there at the side of the circuit to greet him home. And I think we're all pretty blown away with just how mega that move was at the right moment. He really stepped up the attack at exactly the right moment and got the victory done. Now, where's the battle between Kyron Nelson and Brooke Champion? Is Champion going to get one final trick up her sleeve once again? Those two have battled all the way through. She has, you know. Brooke Champion has waited until the last lap again to get past Kyron Nelson. That's exactly as she did before. But she's just been sat behind Kyron Nelson the whole race. And Pounce, look, there they are battling through. And Brooke Champion is going to come through. And with this victory, she clinches the Mini GP 110 title. That is a fantastic result for Brooke Champion. A very good performance indeed all through the year. Well done to her.
Excellent stuff from Brooke Champion. So again, managing to avoid the traffic at the start of that race, doing a sterling job for that. Really committed ride all the way through, and of course managing to get Kyron Nelson on the last couple of laps as well.
Well, we have two champions confirmed now. Dan Stevenson, who was already secured as the junior SM90 champion for 2019, and now Brooke Champion confirmed after 2 wins in her battle with Kyron Nelson, and that secures her place as the Mini GP 110 title winner. Well done to those two, and they can go into the winter with dignity and heads sky high as they are the champions of Britain 2019.